Hi, this is going to be a real quick video on using what I call the check mark method to do multiplication of mixed numbers. It's real quick because they already had to watch a video to do the front side of their sheet, so this is for the back side of their homework for tonight. So we just worked on class. I showed them something called an area model of multiplication for mixed numbers, but it's not something I'm requiring them to master. I'll keep working with it on them. But right now, to be able to multiply mixed numbers, they're going to be using turning mixed numbers into improper fractions, and then just doing what we've learned. They've learned through doing fraction times fraction that numerator times numerator equals your numerator, which is the number on top. Top times top equals top. And then denominator times denominator equals denominator, which is the bottom part of a fraction. So bottom times bottom equals bottom. They came up with that trick today by seeing it over and over again. They actually discovered it themselves without having to be told what that is. So then we went to check marking so that they could then also multiply mixed numbers, because you cannot multiply them as they are in a mixed number format unless you use the area model. So we basically did some basic problems like 1 1/2 times 1 3/4 in class. So if we check mark these, what I mean by check mark is that's my version of how to turn a mixed number into an improper fraction. By we multiply and then we add, so it creates that check mark effect. So multiply 1 times 2, which is 2, plus 1, which is 3. So this gets replaced with 3/2. And the kid went, well, that's just 1 1/2. I'm like, yeah, that's right, because 1 1/2 gets replaced by 3/2. They're equivalent. I wouldn't be allowed to do it if I didn't insert something or substitute something with 3/2 that was equivalent to 1 1/2. 1 times 4, so check mark this one. 1 times 4 is 4, plus 3 is 7, and my original denominator was fourths. So then 3 times 7 is 21, and 2 times 4 is 8, but the kids are like, oh, they're not going to allow us to keep it like this. I would, I don't mind, but a lot of teachers as they get older use this word called improper fraction, and they want a mixed number from that. So 8 goes into 21 twice, which is 16. The denominator is still 8, so 21 and 16, we got to find the difference. So if you count up from 16 to 21, you get 5. So 2 and 5/8 is equivalent to 21/8, and you could check real quick. 2 times 8 is 16. 16 plus 5 is 21, so yes, we were right about that. So 2 and 5/8 is the answer to 1 1/2 times 1 3/4. But again, I couldn't do it like that. I needed to get A over B, right? Fraction A over B. So that's it. That's the check mark method. So I'll just do one more real quick. I tried to keep it low for the homework too, like the denominators and things like that. Try to keep low numbers. So let's do like 4 1/2 times 6 2/3. That one's not going to be too low, but we can still do it. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 plus 1 is 9. So we got 9/2 times 6 times 3 is 18. 18 plus 2 is 20. So I know these are larger numbers, but really it's not that bad since that ends in a 0. So if you just ignore that for a minute, it's like 9 times 2, which is 18. And then I do have a 0, so I just put a 0 on the back of it. And 2 times 3 is 6. This is where it's a little atrocious, except again it's not, because it ends in a 0. So how many times does 6 go into 18? 6 goes into 18 3 times. And there's a 0, so this actually comes out to be a whole number instead of a mixed number. So the answer to 4 1/2 times 6 2/3 is 30. Again, I check marked it. 4 times 2 was 8, plus 1 is 9. That's where 9/2 came from. Times 6 times 3 was 18, plus 2 is 20, and my original denominator was 3. 9 times 20 is 180. 3 times 2, or 2 times 3 is 6, and 6 goes into 180 30 times. So that's it. That's the homework. Have a great night.